Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and today we are outside mid-December. Yes, I'm in short sleeves. It's a little chilly, not too much, but we're going to be doing quite a few things today. We're going to be adding some drip lines to some of the plants in the shade garden. We're also going to be prepping a few containers for winter, and we're going to be doing a little bit of winter pruning. Okay, so the temperatures are actually still pretty mild for this time of year. We haven't had any like really major hard freezes, so I still have a lot growing. We were supposed to be expecting one this last weekend, and it just didn't end up happening, and so is what it is. But I have a few areas I need to get some work done on, so let me take y'all along. Okay, over here is usually just a big zinnia bed. And I have zinnias and I have basil in here, and I wanted to cut back the last of the basil that's in here. I was going to just pull it up, but now that I'm looking, and I'll show you all when I get closer, I'll show you all a closer view. I have a lot of Ami seeds or Queen Anne's lace coming up, and I don't want to mess with them or hurt them, so I don't want to pull on the earth and risk pulling up those seedlings. And so I see that, and I see a lot of green dragon cress coming up as well. I'm using my new clippers that I just talked about in my last video, the Mueller garden clippers, and I am going to be a little careful stepping around in here because I don't want to destroy the little seedlings. Oh, it's really nice to have a fresh set of clippers. Feels really good. But this garden basically just reseeds itself all the time, every year. And so it has a lot of bulbs. And I have these right here are iris, I believe, coming up. And I see some alliums, some drumstick alliums coming up as well, which is crazy to me. We just had, like a cold spell, and then it got warm again. So the garden is very confused. But I want to clear out some of this dead stuff so that when everything starts coming up for the spring, it's ready to go. Okay, so that's definitely more cleaned up. So just as an update, these are all bells of Ireland that I started from seed. Doing pretty good. That one back there is doing really good. These other ones are fine. They haven't put on a ton of growth, but they're fine. And then up front, these are Godetia, Grace Salmon Godetia, that I started from seed as well. Both of those are hardy annuals. Then I believe these, I'm not sure what these are. These might be the drumstick alliums. I think back here might be the iris. Got a lot coming up. Actually, I feel like all of these are drumstick alliums, these really kind of spindly ones. And then down here, these right here are the Ami or Queen Anne's lace coming up. And then these right here are green dragon cress coming up. So, and then I do have like new zinnia seedlings coming up because everything's really confused. It got cold and then got warm again. So good times. So, but cut that cleaned up a little bit, just need to be done. We're going to go ahead and hook up drip to this passion fruit vine. So I have existing drip lines in the bed. So all I have to do is punch and run a new line up there. So let's knock that out too. Okay, so got my existing drip lines right here. So basically I want to punch into this drip line and bring a smaller 1/4 inch drip line up to do that. So I'm going to start with just the basic black 1/4 inch drip line, and it does not have any emitters in it. Just use these to cut. I lost my little hole punch thing, so I just grabbed this little brad thing to make a quick punch. I'm going to use a straight line connector, put it in at the end of this tube, just like that, and then I'll just punch it in to the hole I just made, just like that. I'm going to put one more straight line connector at the end of the tube, just like that. And then I'm going to take my 1/4 inch brown tubing, which has emitters this one has every 12 inches. I'm going to connect it to the other end of this connector, like that. I'm going to count off 1, 2, 3, I think I'll do 4. Let's cut that off. And then the last thing I need to do is plug up the end of this hose right here, and I'm just going to take a goof plug and put it at the end, just like that. And then all I have to do now is when the drip lines go off, put this around here, and this will water in this plant. I'm going to grab a stake to hold it in place. All right. Just got an emitter to hold that in place, and a stake to hold that in place, and we are good to go. Okay, so I got this piece of art from the thrift store. I'm looking into the sun, sorry. Just was really inexpensive. Got it for $6.50. Nothing fancy. It's just a print, so it's not like extremely valuable, but I really wanted to put something in here leaning up against one of the walls. I'm just going to prop it up here for right now, but the goal will be, let me see, let me actually move it a little bit. The goal will be eventually for this to hang on one of the walls here, but I wanted to go ahead and bring it out so I can enjoy it. Not super worried about it getting wet. If I keep it on underneath here, it should be just fine. So I wonder if I can layer it like this. I think that'll work. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I mean, I'm not worried about it getting really messed up, but also under here it's got cover from the rain. But now I feel like it's too big. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. I'm going to leave it here so I can just walk by it every day and enjoy it. What we do need to do is we need to get some of these plants, including this plant stand and the hydrangeas back here. We need to get those also hooked up to drip. And I do have existing drip run in the shade garden. It was one of the things I did before I started moving all this equipment and stuff in. I ran just solid closed lines all the way around the perimeter, and they are on their own dial. Let me show you what that is. Okay, so over here I have all my timers. These are not fancy, very simple timers. They're on my Amazon list if you're interested in checking them out. This guy runs to all the gardens that we were just in. This guy runs to all the gardens at the back of the backyard. This is my hose. And then this one that's off and that looks newer is not all bleached out. These other ones are all bleached out. This one right here is to the new shade garden. And it goes down here, and I have black piping that runs all the way around the entire perimeter of the shade garden. You can see it right there. And the reason I did that is so that at any point in time I can use that same technique that we just did over in the other garden, where I can just punch into the existing hose and then run lines up to the containers. So I think we're going to go ahead and start with the hydrangea containers. Now, one thing that's a little different about these is they actually already have existing rings in there with emitters, and basically I just cut them off where they were hooked up. So I just need to come in here and attach these to additional black line, and then plug them into the hose that is existing right over here. those on. And we're gonna go ahead and do manual for right now. Do 10 minutes. Wait till I hear it turn on. There it goes. So let's go back here. Back there is where I have got a little bit of drip on those, which that's fine. And then now we have drip coming to the base of each of these plants, which is great. So, yeah. All right, so we're good to go on those. With that same thing in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and run drip to this guy. I'm gonna run the line with the emitter holes to this. And then to these two smaller plants, I'm just gonna do an adjustable emitter, and I'll show y'all what that looks like. Okay, so I have a couple of adjustable emitters on the end of some of these. So let me show you what that looks like. It is just twist, so you can twist it open and it just emits water, just like that. And you can make it do like a lot, or you can make it just do like a little. And I'm just going to do a little right here, and then I'm just going to use a stake. That's just a little more. I don't need it to be tons and tons, but I'm just going to use a stake to hold it in place on this one. And then the other one I'll put at the base of this heuchera. Okay, so we're all set for now on drip to these and drip to those. I'm not worrying about this guy right here because he didn't have drip the whole summer. Still doing good. And I do have some planting that I'm doing this weekend in these, and so we'll hook up drip to those during that time. But there's a few other things I need to get done in the backyard, so let's go on over. Okay, so I've got a few plants up front here that I am ready to be done with. I was thinking about trying to save some of these tomatoes, but I have since changed my mind. I'm just tired. I don't want to do it anymore. So these are Purslane in here. These are annuals. These will not make it through the weather, and these terracotta pots are can be damaged when we have freezing temps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back the Purslane in here, making sure I don't cut my drip lines or my finger, because that's happened before. And then I'm going to locate my drip line, pull it up, and it is an emitter. So I'm going to, an adjustable emitter, so I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to take this pot and put it under the porch so it doesn't get damaged during the winter. And I'm going to go through the same process. Actually, this one I'm going to leave because it actually has alliums in it. And even though it is a technically a big old weed out here, hold it. Even though it's a terracotta pot, it is glazed, so it won't have the kind of issues that the non-glazed terracotta pots have. So it can remain. One thing, and then we will cut back this one, which is a bulbine, which is a perennial, but not a perennial that I am enjoying, so I've been wanting to get rid of it anyway. Okay, and then over here is my honeysuckle, which is going to get planted up the next couple of weeks. Sitting on top of this terracotta pot, which I want to take out. Okay. sure did love the purslane during the hottest parts of the winter. This is plastic, so I can leave it out there. So I've got my adjustable drip. I'm just going to go ahead and close it all the way. Definitely enjoyed the purslane during the hot summer. It did great. It loves the heat and always had lots of pollinators on it. And this is plastic as well. So we're just going to close this emitter off for the winter. Do that. Now, right there is a mum, which I need to get in the ground because I didn't love having them in containers. Got another one over there, which I need to get in the ground. We're going to be planting mums probably this weekend. This up here is some tricolor jigsaw ornamental puffers that I grew in seed. They were super fun. Like to grow more, but I'm not interested in keeping them in this container because I have plans for these containers later. So once again, here's the adjustable emitter. We'll just turn that off. Okay, another little area that I need to button up is right here. This is where all the hydrangeas were that we moved to the shade garden, and I am out of the goof plugs to plug the ends. So one thing you can do is if you don't have what you need, you can use a zip tie and just bend the tube and give it a nice, make it nice and tight, and you will be good. That will cut off the water. You have to bend it though to do it, because basically it pinches that closed, and that's what keeps the water from continuing out. And then I'll have these so that if, which I probably will, if I have more plants here in the future, I can access these. I can cut these off and access these again. Okay, so not a terribly long video and not terribly exciting garden chores, but I actually love some of these little monotonous chores that are required throughout the garden. It allows my mind to go to rest, to be at peace. I don't know about you all, but that's one of the things that I love the most about being here as a gardener. All right, so we got some pruning done. We installed drip lines on the passion vine and on some of the plants in the shade garden. And then we did some additional pruning and moved some terracotta pots underneath the porch. And I still have a few more things along those lines to get done in the backyard. So there will be some more episodes coming up, videos, whatever, where I'm doing some additional pruning. I'm not gonna prune a whole bunch, but there are some areas that need to be cleaned up that are annuals. I'm not gonna be pruning back any of my perennials right now. I'll do that maybe late winter, early spring. But yeah, definitely some more pruning to get some things cleaned up and just get everything a little bit more organized before we finally start getting some colder weather. All right, y'all, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know my latest videos are up, and be sure to check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.